The accounting world is just changing at an incredible pace, right? For CPA firms, adapting, well, it's not just a good idea anymore. It's really about survival. Today, we're going to dig into what might be the single biggest trend shaping the future of this entire industry, and that's strategic outsourcing. So let's get into what this really means for your firm.
All right, let's just jump right in with a pretty direct question. Think about it. Client expectations are skyrocketing, technology is completely changing the game, so is your firm actually ready for what's coming in just a couple of years? Because, the way we've always done things, it's starting to show some serious cracks.
And this really gets to the heart of it. We're seeing this massive shift. The role of the CPA is transforming from just a technical number cruncher into a high-value strategic advisor. Your clients, they don't just want compliance anymore. They want your insight. They want guidance. And that means your team's time is, without a doubt, your most valuable asset.
So here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll talk about the big dilemma firms are facing. Then we'll look at outsourcing as the solution. After that, we'll see what it looks like in practice, and finally wrap up with how you can future-proof your firm. Okay, first up, let's really unpack this core dilemma. Before we can even talk about a solution, we have to get real about the pressures that are making that traditional do-it-all in-house model so difficult to keep up with. And you can see how all these challenges are kind of tangled together. You've got this maze of regulations getting more complex by the day, which creates this huge compliance burden. At the very same time, clients are demanding faster work and more advisory services. And all of this is happening while the costs of hiring and keeping top talent are just going up and up. It's a perfect storm. Which naturally brings us to the solution. And look, facing these pressures doesn't have to be a losing battle. The answer isn't just about trying to cut a few costs here and there. It's about making a strategic pivot. It's about fundamentally changing how your firm operates to focus on what actually drives growth. So what do we really mean when we say strategic outsourcing? Well, it's the decision to hand off those essential but super time-consuming functions, like payroll, accounts payable, all that back office stuff, to an expert external team. The goal here isn't just to get the work done cheaper, it's to free up your own talented people to focus on that high-margin advisory work that your clients are really hungry for. And this lays out the path perfectly. Step 1, you get instant access to specialized expertise without the massive overhead. Step 2, you can scale up or down whenever you need to. Perfect for tax season. Third, you cut down your operational risk by leaning on folks who live and breathe compliance. And it all leads to that crucial fourth step, freeing your firm to actually focus on growth. And I want to be clear, this is not some temporary fix. It's a fundamental, long-term strategy. The whole idea is that being able to scale, manage your costs, and guarantee compliance, that's going to be absolutely essential to thrive in the years ahead. Okay, theory is great, but let's make this real. How does this stuff actually work day to day? We're going to zoom in on two of the biggest areas people outsource, payroll and accounts payable. So let's talk payroll. It's easily one of the most critical and honestly highest risk things a firm does. Just one little mistake, a miscalculation, a late filing, can lead to huge penalties, and maybe even worse, it can destroy a client's trust. In today's world, getting it perfect every single time is absolutely non-negotiable. And this table just lays it all out, plain and simple. When you do payroll in-house, your risk of errors is high, the cost for that specialized staff is significant, and the workload can just crush your team. But the moment you outsource it, that whole equation just flips. Risk gets minimized by experts, costs become predictable and usually lower, and that huge burden on your staff, it pretty much vanishes. Now, what about accounts payable? AP often gets treated like the simple back-office task, but when it's inefficient, it becomes a major drag on your operations. We're talking duplicate payments, slow approvals, your staff getting totally overloaded. When you outsource AP, you transform that cost center into a smooth, efficient machine. And this same logic, by the way, applies to bookkeeping, tax prep, you name it. And what we're seeing more and more is firms looking globally for these solutions. A perfect example of this is what's often called the India advantage. The accounting services market there has become a massive hub. And why is that? Well, you get access to incredibly well-trained professionals who are experts in U.S. accounting standards, and you get it at a huge cost savings. Plus, and this is a big one, the time zone difference means work gets done while you sleep, leading to way faster turnarounds for your clients.
All right, so we've hit the problem, the solution, and how it works in the real world. Now, let's look to the future. How does making this move today actually set you up for success tomorrow and the day after that?
Because outsourcing itself is changing. We're seeing these cool hybrid models pop up, blending in-house and external teams. There's deeper tech integration with automation. But notice the common thread here? It's a relentless focus on advisory services powered by global talent. And all of it has to be built on a foundation of serious data security. These are the trends that are going to define the winners.
So when you boil it all down, what's the real payoff? Well, strategic outsourcing delivers on 4 key promises. It cuts your operational costs, it gives you rock-solid compliance, it gives you the scalability you need to grow, and probably most important of all, it frees your people to do that high-value advisory work that is the future of the CPA firm. And that really brings us to the main takeaway. This isn't just about being more efficient. It's about being more competitive. The firms that make this strategic shift right now are the ones building a stronger, more resilient, and ultimately a much more profitable future for themselves.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. Your clients' needs are changing every single day. They're looking for more value, more insight, and more of a strategic partnership. The real question you have to ask is your firm evolving right along with them?